Channel 23, Atlanta.
Welcome back to Profiles. My next guest has not only made her mark on the Atlanta soul music scene, but the world is now her stage. Her self-entitled debut album is a collection of personal stories that have provided healing along her journey, and she hopes it does the same for her fans. She is living proof that music is a reflection of life. Avery Sunshine joins us today as our artist spotlight. Avery, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me, Paulette. I'm so glad to be here. I'm glad to be here.
If the viewers could have only seen what happened before.
They can. We can reenact it.
Oh, goodness. And Avery, like I said in the open, the world is now your stage.
Wow.
How did this journey start for you?
I was working with my Spelman sister at the time, Maya Wilson, and I was listening to your other guest. My sister, well, Maya, who is my sister, is on Broadway. So to hear her talk about, I'd like to, I don't want to be a struggling actor in New York, but that made me think of that. Whatever the case. So we were working together at Spelman, and we hooked up with Morehouse man Dana Johnson. And Maya, that was one of her first shows. She was called to do The Color Purple. And we were in the middle of working on a project, and she was like, well, I gotta go. You're like, where you going? Really, now? And she went to pursue her career on Broadway, and my partner Dana was like, well, what you gonna do? I'm like, I don't know, I'm gonna keep playing at the church, I'm gonna find something else to do, I'm not doing a record, I don't wanna be bothered with that. And he said, no, let's do it. And he said, let's just see how these first couple songs go. And he wasn't even really that nice. He just kept working. He said, okay, you doing that? Okay, sing to this. Keep it moving. And before we knew it, we had a full album.
Oh, wow.
And, I'm like, God, pictures are done, and we've got a team, and wow, people are listening to it, and they like it, and then we put it out, and it, so it really was not something I was expecting.
Wow, wow. And as I told my previous guest, a lot of times the thread that combines all of these stories, that runs through these stories, is I wasn't expecting it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Or I wasn't going to take that leap of faith.
Absolutely.
And in so doing, you've done things that you never imagined.
Absolutely. And when we're talking about that, a lot of times we're waiting on God to give us, a sign. And in many cases, God is waiting on a sign for us. Yep. Do something.
That's right. That's right.
The whole universe will just follow you and go. So we did it. I'm so thankful to him. And I always say it, I wouldn't be here without him, because I'd have been doing something else.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's been absolutely amazing.
Awesome, awesome.
Yeah.
And so what was it like stepping out on that first stage and seeing people in the crowd wanting to see and hear from Avery Sunshine?
It was so interesting. I don't remember the first time that happened. I remember the first time I think I realized, though, that this was something a little bigger. We opened for B.B. King in London. We had 3 shows, just me, Rhodes, and Dana and his guitar at Royal Albert Hall, 5,000 people.
Oh my gosh.
I walked out on stage, and people were like, we came to see B.B. King. I mean, I was an opener.
Certainly.
Like, who is this? By the time we were finished, people were waving their cell phones. And so I do this thing in the show where I tell people to, tweet and Facebook, tell somebody about me, because I need all the help I can get.
Right, right.
And, someone took a picture. There's a panoramic picture of Dana and I on stage in Royal Albert Hall. And you see all these little lights. They look like fireflies. I'm going to tell you, I think that is the moment that I was like, wow, this is much bigger than what I had expected. This is, wow, I'm blessed.
Yes, yes.
And grateful. And grateful.
And because of your dream promoter in Dana.
Oh, absolutely.
And then you're taking that step.
That's a word. We're going to use it, the dream promoter. Good afternoon.
Yep.
I like that. Good afternoon.
Because of that.
Yes, absolutely.
Albert Hall. And many more Albert Halls.
Absolutely.
Many more.
Absolutely.
Many more.
We've since done Switzerland and amazing venues in the States. I mean, places, like I said, I would have never, places that my parents took me when I was a child. We ended up playing, headlining there, a place called the Grand Opera House in Delaware, Wilmington, Delaware. I remember my mother and my aunt and uncle took me to see Ramsey Lewis and Dr., I can't remember his name, of course, but they were pianos side by side, and I had no idea that full circle, many years later, I'd be sitting on the same stage. Amazing.
And you know in that moment that
Billy
you're doing,
Taylor, I'm sorry,
Billy
Dr.
Taylor.
Billy Taylor.
In that moment, you know that you are where you're supposed to be.
Absolutely.
No question.
Absolutely.
No question.
Divine order.
That's right. You know, Music Soul Child was here a couple of weeks ago.
That's my buddy. That's my buddy.
And I was sharing with him about my journey, and he
Yeah.
said, well, if it's on time, you know it's divine.
How about that?
So it was on time.
He tries to be a little preacher. I always call him that. He's like, I don't say that. He's a preacher, though. That's what he's great. He's great.
Wonderful person, wonderful person. So tell me, I understand you have 2 children,
Yes.
a daughter and a son.
Yes.
How do you make being a mom, a full-time working mom, seem so effortless?
Does it seem effortless?
What's your secret? Because I know women would buy it if you sold it.
What? Listen, so let me figure it out. Dana's always saying, how can you mechanize that? Figure out how I can do that. My children help me do that. And my parents, because they live with me.
Oh, wonderful.
So I'm never, I'm not able to stay too far away, clearly physically and emotionally, and I'm engaged all the time, because thankfully I have the kind of children who will tell me when I've been absent too much. Listen, you need to be here. I've got this going on. What's going? You've been gone. Now you're back. What are we doing? And it always snaps me back. So it's, and like I said, they keep me grounded, and they keep me focused. Which is really, like I said, my parents being there. My parents moved from Chester, Pennsylvania, 9 miles south of Philadelphia. My father always wants me to say that. To help take care of the kids so I could travel. And if for no other reason but that, I make sure, look, on my calendar, this is what we got to do with mom and dad today, the kids. Okay, I got an interview. Okay, after that, I got to pick Evan up. All right, tomorrow, what's next? Put everything on there so I don't forget.
That's right.
I don't forget.
That's a beautiful thing. And their lives will be so much richer because of this experience with their mom. That's wonderful. That's
so
wonderful.
I say put it all on the calendar. Don't even feel some kind of way about it.
That's right.
Movie time. We're going to read a book at 5 o'clock. And it's actually better for everybody. It's okay if you can't remember everything. Write it down.
Exactly.
So that's how I'm able to manage everything.
Wonderful, wonderful. Now let's talk about your musicality. I listened to some clips online recently, and you just effortlessly, flawlessly transitioned from an Aretha Franklin song to a Michael Jackson song to who else was
Luther
it?
Vandross.
It was effortless.
No, it's me and Dana. I think we were in Amsterdam, and we were working on some music. I said, I need to sing something else. I don't want to do something else. And he started playing. I think I started singing, "My baby loves me." And he started playing. He said, "Oh, that would go into this. Oh, and that goes in the." And before we knew, we had a little medley, which is great. Some of my favorite artists.
Wow. And look, if you haven't listened to it, YouTube Avery Sunshine and check it out.
Please do.
Now let's talk about your debut album, your
Yes.
self-entitled debut album. How did those stories come together? And can you give us a little insight?
Absolutely. Every song came from an experience. Every story. So there is nothing that's made up. It was something. Every one of those songs is something. And while we were working on the record, I was going through divorce, and I wasn't having any counseling, and I don't even know if I had really thought about going to counseling, but making this album in retrospect served as my therapy. I listened to some of the songs. I'm like, wow, I didn't even realize I was feeling like that. But it did serve as therapy, so that's why the story, they're real. They're the one, there's one called Today. And I said, listen, it's just one of those days. God, I know the right thing to do, but I'm about to go off. I can't take it. And at the end of the song, my mother comes in and she says, hey, listen, just stop, just pray. It's gonna be all right. And I found myself so many days feeling like that. and then being able to call my mom, and she said, "Hey, it's gonna be all right. Just pray. You know, you're talking to me now, but one day you're not gonna be able to, and I need you to go back to that place." And she went in. She preached real good for me. But so that's one song. There's another one of the songs called "The Most." Sitting in the kitchen, I always tell the story. Dana was playing the guitar. My father was frying pork chops. You can probably actually hear the pork chops frying on the track if you listen closely. And Dana started playing, and the first thing I thought of were my children. And he has a son as well, and how much we love our kids. And the lyric is, "You are the most beautiful thing in the world to me, and I hope that you'll see all the things that I see." And so all the songs, you know, they were not contrived. We didn't sit down and say, you know what, we got to get a song that they really came. A couple of tunes Dana just wrote flat out. He said, "Sing this." Wow. But they came from experiences, from life. And I'm grateful for that. Those kinds of things you cannot duplicate. You cannot replicate. You cannot redo that. There's no way. So I'm grateful for that.
And I think that's why you have such a tremendous following, because you keep it real. And people, when they hear you and see you sing, and if they see you on the streets, it's the same person. It's the same person, the same message, the same spirit. And that's the key to your success.
That's the only way today. That's the only way to be. And again, I'm thankful for my children who keep it so real. They're my little, they're my inspiration. They're my little role models, believe it or not. It's hard for them. They lie. Let's be real. But when they're being, the core, that soul of them is being exposed, it's very hard for children to lie. It's natural to tell the truth. "Hey, I don't like the lipstick, Mom. Don't do that." Then they'll go back to coloring. It's like, what? You know, they remind me to be honest. They remind you that honesty really is what heals. It might hurt, but a lot of times, you know, there is some pain when it's healed. You know what I mean? You know, I remember getting you know, you'd feel it itching. I remember running and falling, and you put the stuff on it, burn. It's healing, though. When it starts to itching, don't pull a scab off. Just let it, you know, it's healing. So I think of that when I'm trying to be truthful. It's hard as an adult to tell the truth, though, sometimes, because we don't want to hear the truth.
And two, we don't want to accept that we need to change.
Exactly.
We don't want to accept that truth.
That's even more poignant. That's it.
That truth.
That's it. Come on, Reverend. It's all right, Reverend Paulette.
Avery, your music has spoken truth. And we're very excited about this latest album and the video that has been released for A Good Part of Me. I know that along with, excuse me, All in My Head will change the way people engage in their relationships, engage with themselves.
I hope so.
And you've certainly been able to accomplish that process.
I am so glad, and that was, you know, it just happened. Going through the divorce, and we did go to counseling one time. And I, you know, was sitting in the counseling session, and I was like, well, you know, it's his fault, and he did it. And the counselor said, wait a minute. Don't you think you may have had something to do with the demise of the relationship? I was like, that never occurred to me. And from that, those songs, All in My Head and Ugly, were born. Listen, last night I got mad, I was acting crazy. It's just that ugly part of me, I didn't mean it. Then All in My Head, you know, pokes fun at, you know, your boyfriend says to you, you know, God, you look really beautiful in that blue, Paulette. And you say, well, you didn't like the red I had on yesterday? He's like, well, I didn't say that. We take it and we just flip it. You know, the stuff that we've dealt with in the past keeps us from we see stuff as half empty rather than half full. And I'm sorry about it. I didn't mean it. It's all in my head. You cool with me? I love you. You know, so I want to, you know, in trying to help heal, and I still want us to laugh about it. It doesn't have to be so serious.
Exactly. And take the changes as they come. And be willing to change. Be open to engaging that process. Well, Avery, we're excited for you and your career.
You so much.
I know beyond the shadow of a doubt that you will hit many more stages around this world sharing your gift.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. This means so much.
It means so much to me that you accepted the invitation.
And we're kind of taking this walk together. We're newbies with all this stuff.
Exactly.
So I'll be coming back. And
yes, you will.
All right.
You better come back.
That's right.
In fact, when we come back, you'll be performing for us, right?
Sounds good to me.
Awesome. We will be back with more Avery Sunshine right after these messages.
Hi, I'm Shamika Ayers, producer of Sugar Coma Events and author of Instantly, How Quickly I Realized I Hate My Job. You're watching Profiles with Paulette Payne on CAU-TV, Comcast Channel 23, Atlanta.
Welcome back to Profiles. If you or someone you know has taken the professional path less traveled, like my guest Crystal Simmons, or you're an artist who'd like to be considered for Artist Spotlight, please send your request to profiles.cautv@gmail.com. Thank you for watching, but before we go, Avery Sunshine performs a song off her debut album. I'll see you next time on Profiles.
I've played out a meeting again and again, telling myself how it was gonna end. It's been such a long time and I've got butterflies, nervous that you will know all my thoughts, so much more than you want. But please understand that I know we both have our ties. What happened, baby? How did we miss out? I just didn't realize what you meant to me until now, yeah. And I'm still wondering, oh, yes. But I guess we'll never know, and I can't get you out of my head, can't get you out of my system. Still wanting you, I don't care who knows it now. 20 long years have passed and I'm still pining, baby. Yes, I am. Yes, I am. Had you given this thing much thought at all? Like what would happen if we started to fall in love like we did when we were too young to even know? I wish I could turn back the hands of time. I would have loved you like I was out of my mind. If only I knew then what I know now, I'd be fine, yeah. What happened, baby? How did we miss out? I wish I could move on, but I can't. I'm perplexed, bewildered, upset, 'cause I can't have you. No, 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 and I can't get you out of my head, can't get you out of my system. Still wanting you, I don't care who knows it. No, 20 long years have passed and I'm still pining, baby. That lady from Atlanta, Georgia said something like, he's leaving, yeah, yeah. Oh, on that midnight train to Georgia. I said he's going back to find, yeah, hey, a simpler place in time. Yeah, he's living on. Hey, yeah, said he's going back to find, yeah, a simpler place in time. Yeah, 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 do, Yes, I am. Yes, I am.